Welcome to Think Future. My name's Chris Kalaboukis, and once again we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation, startups, the future, not necessarily those and not necessarily in that order. If you're watching on YouTube, smack that subscribe button and hit that bell so you'll be notified when a new show comes online. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast service, please subscribe and please drop a note on Apple Podcasts. I'd greatly appreciate it. So today we're going to talk a little bit about ways we innovate. And I've talked about ways we innovate in a number of different ways, number of different exercises that we do in order to assist in innovating within organizations. And today we're going to talk a little bit about uncommon juxtapositions. Now, one of the things about serendipity, and I've talked about serendipity many times, is that a lot of times ideas come out of uncommon juxtapositions of things. So let's say you're trying to solve a particularly thorny problem, and you've gone over it over and over and over again, and for some reason you can't think of a solution to this particularly thorny problem. But then you say you go for a walk, or you go to a coffee shop, or you go somewhere new, somewhere different, see things you've never seen before, and then all of a sudden you see something that triggers an idea in your head. This serendipitous idea where there's an uncommon juxtaposition between the problem that you've got, the thing that you're trying to solve, and something that you see. You observe something that triggers a thought in your brain, which might be the missing piece that helps you to solve this problem. So how do you come across these uncommon juxtapositions? Well, there's lots of different ways. Like I mentioned, you can go to different places, you can experience different things, you can see different things. And there's one exercise that I do every now and then where if you don't want to actually have to physically move or go somewhere, and unfortunately there's not that many resources on the net that can help you do this, but there are a couple of things that allow you to continuously randomize things. And the exercise is called Change the Nouns. So the idea is that you take the nouns for a particular thing and you change the noun to something new and different to see if you can come up with a different product. So, for example, everyone is familiar with Uber, right? Uber is crowdsourced transportation. I have a car, I sign up for Uber, I drive people around with my car, right? So it's Uber for people being driven around in a car. So it's Uber for transportation, Uber for personal transportation. Now, what if you took the concept of Uber, which is people sharing what they have, and added different nouns? Change the nouns. Instead of personal transportation, make it something else. And instead of just coming up with different things, go to something like a random noun generator, because there are such a thing as random noun generators. On the internet, just search for random noun generator and have it generate some random nouns. And I did that myself earlier today, and what did I get? I got estate, soup, woman, mom, attention, desk, development, and teacher. So if you took each of those nouns and you apply them as Uber for, what could you get? What would you say of Uber for moms? Uber for moms. Maybe there's a way that you could rent out your mom to people who need a mom-like thing, or mom-like person doing something. Uber for soup. Maybe you have a soup delivery service, or people make soup in their homes and they deliver their soup to other people. Maybe you've got people all over the world who know how to make really good soups, and they could deliver their soups to their neighbors. Or Uber for teachers. Maybe tutoring services. Maybe there's an Uber for tutors we can come up with. Say your kid is having a problem with math or calculus or anything particular. You fire up your app and you find the Uber for Tutors app, which calls an emergency tutor to come in and help your kid with tutoring. So you see what I'm saying? It's like some of these ideas, they sound a little crazy. And Uber for soup, who wants Uber for soup, right? But if you think about the next one, what does they say? Uber for desks. What's Uber for desks? Well, WeWork is Uber for desks. I need a desk. I need to sit somewhere and do some work. Voila, WeWork. So the ideas for these things come out of uncommon juxtapositions of nouns. So if you take uncommon words and slap them together, who knows what kind of new businesses you could generate. So instead of innovating by going to different places or thinking about different things, why not just throw different nouns in constructs that are already there, creating new juxtapositions that you've never heard before, and maybe, just maybe, some of those new juxtapositions can come up with new ideas for you, come up with new products for you. Now, I'm not saying that the product itself will come out of it. I mean, Uber for soup, maybe not Uber for soup, but if you think about the concept of Uber for soup, Uber for food, Uber for home-cooked meals, Uber for pies, who knows? Maybe there's something there, that nugget could trigger some new kind of thinking in your brain that doesn't necessarily talk about meals. Maybe it's talk about soup. It could be something else. Uber for cookies, right? Maybe you could create a crumble cookie type service where you've got people who can create great cookies, and you can actually ship those cookies around your local neighborhood. Maybe you can have a Uber for crumble type cookies. The list is endless, and the trick is to put in those random words, to randomize the nouns, come up with something new and different that you may not have thought of, but let the randomizer trigger those new thoughts and lead you to new places, lead you to serendipity and new things. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.